Booming, folks. We have some major developments on several different fronts we got to speak about here today. Oh yeah, baby. MU stock is up massive after hours. This is extremely important stock for the market. And I'll explain why in this video, and I'll explain why this stock is blasting higher, about 14% after hours. Meta hit new all-time highs here today. Congratulations to all fellow Meta shareholders out there. Absolutely incredible. This one's on the way to being my first $1 million plus position in one portfolio. I've never had a stock be $1 million plus in one portfolio, and that's where we're headed here with the public count. So bunch of developments in regards to Meta we got to speak about here today. RVLV Revolve, I do not talk about this stock very much. Shh, it's quiet stock. This is a sneaky mover, and it's a sneaky mover. We're talking about what's going on with this company. Why is the stock moving up? We're up nearly 99% on the stock now at this point in time. A lot of investors are off sides in this market. We're going to talk about why this is great news for stocks in general in this video. Two questions for you. Are you subscribed to this channel? If you're not subscribed, get your booty subscribed here to the channel. Number two, are you part of the Smash Club? Are you even aware of the Smash Club? The Smash Club is the people that smash the thumbs up button for my videos. I appreciate each and every one of them. You could join it today. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is go down there and hit a thumbs up on this video, okay? Got a free brand new workshop for you guys here today. That's going to be pinned comment down there. I recorded this a week or two ago. We're only literally a few days away from going into the fourth quarter this year. This workshop talks about stocks to buy now for 2025, how to position your portfolio now for next year, okay? So pin comment, free to access, can send it over via email or text. Alrighty, so let's get into this. Micron. So Micron, first off, you got to understand it's an extremely important company for the overall stock market. The reason being is this is a massive memory chip giant. If you don't know, basically everything out there that uses electronics has memory. So if you're watching this video right now on a computer, guess what? It has memory chips in it. They might be from Micron. If you're watching this video right now on a phone, has memory chips in it. Everything, I mean, heck, even refrigerators nowadays and washers and dryers have memory chips in them. It's ridiculous. Micron forecasts first quarter revenue above Wall Street estimates on Wednesday, betting on strong demand for its high bandwidth memory, HBM chips, used in the AI industry, sending the company's shares up obviously about 14% after the bell. The company is one of only 3 providers of high bandwidth memory, along with South Korea's SK Hynix and Samsung, which has allowed the US firm to cash in on demand for semiconductors at power generative AI technology. The AI boom has also helped Micron cushion the hit from memory chip inventory glut in regards to PCs, smartphones. We obviously know PC demand has not been great the last year or two. Smartphone demand has not been great the last year or two. And so all these AI chips, it's really benefiting Micron in a massive way. The company forecast revenue of $8.7 billion plus or minus $200 million. My guess is there's probably more risk to the upside than the downside in terms of they're probably more likely to hit $8.9 billion than $8.5 billion. That's what I'll say about that. For the first quarter, compared with an estimated 8.28 according to a lot of these analysts. So the analysts were at around 8.3. Theirs coming in with a midpoint 8.7, so about $400 million ahead of where analysts are at, which means AI demand is even stronger than what analysts expect, which is monumental for the stock market because we know a lot's riding on, the AI cycle, super cycle, and chip cycle continuing on here. Micron's results typically set a tone for the chip sector as it reports ahead of peers and serves as a broad client base spanning from PC, data center, and smartphone industries. The company said in June, high bandwidth memory chips were sold out for all of 2024 and 2025 calendar years. So they all sold out, baby. Could you talk about a better situation for your business than what MU's in right now, where you're completely sold out for not only this year, but next year as well, and you're already filling your demand for 2026? Booming. Business is booming. The chips are used in AI processors designed by Wall Street darling nvidia. Micron expects adjusted gross margins for the first quarter to be 39.5% plus or minus 1%. Analysts had expected adjusted gross margins of 37.7%. For the fourth quarter, the company's revenue jumped 93%. Their business is booming, certainly. Now, this matters so much because the semiconductor industry is massive. You think about the biggest sectors, the biggest industries that really run the stock market, the semiconductor is a creme de la creme as far as that goes, right? NVIDIA is the big dog. Everybody's paying attention to NVIDIA. As I told you guys a million times now at this point in time in regards to NVIDIA, you do not have to worry about the company's numbers for this year and for next year. They're basically guaranteed. at this point in time, okay? Now, with that being said, NVIDIA's numbers, they come into question more 2026 and 2027. What's demand looking like in 26? What's demand looking like in 27? That's not going to even start to be really figured out until the back half of next year, so the back half of 2025. So the numbers are looking great now for NVIDIA, and this takes a boogeyman out of the market in regards to NVIDIA. Like, there's all these worries about, could AI demand just fall off all of a sudden? No, okay? As I'm telling everybody again and again and again for the thousandth time, demand's good for this year, demand's good for next year. Not just good, but it's great. 2026, 2027, we can begin to debate those years, but as far as the next, 18 months, we're good as far as that goes, right? Now, as I've always told you guys in regards to NVIDIA, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this party ends with NVIDIA somewhere between the $150 to $200 range. That doesn't mean I want to play it up to those ranges, because it might not get there, right? I have no interest in trying to play a top on this one, but I've always felt like 150 to 200, somewhere in there is when the party ends for NVIDIA as far as the stock price goes. Now, the party is going to end in regards to stock price way before the actual demand cycle ends. It's going to probably, the stock price party is going to end at least 6 to 12 months before the AI chip cycle slows to a grinding halt. And when I say to a grinding halt, it doesn't mean like numbers go negative necessarily. It means the growth rates slow substantially. So we have an epic growth rate, obviously 2023, epic growth rate 2024, another epic growth rate 2025, although it's going to be a much smaller growth rate in 2025. 2026, we could be talking about single-digit potential growth for NVIDIA or very low double-digit growth for NVIDIA, right? That's when people start to get concerned about in NVIDIA stock in a major way, when they start having to think about, oh, what if this company starts growing revenue only 5 or 10 or 15%, which, by the way, those aren't bad numbers. It's just, when you've been putting up 100% plus growth and then you go down to those numbers maybe in a year, 2 years from now, that's what will happen there. So it feels like there's my opinion, is my feeling in regards to NVIDIA, is I feel like there's one last hurrah bull run in regards to this chip cycle for NVIDIA. And with MU numbers now coming out, NVIDIA, if they come out with a blowout next quarter numbers and a next quarter guide, it feels like we could have one last hurrah in regards to this one for like the stock price just kind of booming in the short term. But at the end of the day, we do know, the party as far as going to slow down in a major way. We're at this stage right now where it's kind of around peak party-ish. Like this is the most fun time. Everybody's feeling loose at the party and everybody's having a great time conversating. And by the time the party ends, there's going to be some people that are in a bad mood and might even be a fight or two. But that's not right now. That's coming, but it's not right now. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on in regards to NVIDIA. And since this is all going on, this bodes very well for the stock market because NVIDIA is a $3 trillion plus market cap. So if we can have this last hurrah in regards to NVIDIA, and this market cap can go from 3 trillion to maybe 4 trillion or 5 trillion here, let's call it over the next 6 months or so, it's going to bode very well for the NASDAQ and for the S&P 500. Now, that leads us to Meta. Right? New all-time high hit in regards to this one. Once again, congratulations to all Meta bulls. If you own some Meta shares out there, let me know in the comments section how many shares you own. Let me know what your cost basis is on this baby, because I hope there's some people making some money other than me in regards to in Meta stock, right? So a lot of big developments here in regards to Meta. Oh my gosh, big developments, okay? One, they showed off a new headset. This is very exciting. Today at Connect, we unveiled a new Meta Quest 3S headset, which has the same mixed reality capabilities and fast performance as Meta Quest 3, but at a lower price point. Quest 3S is the best headset for those new to mixed reality and immersive experiences who might want to be waiting for basically a lower cost, right? We're dropping the price of the 512 gigabyte Meta Quest 3, the best headset in our lineup for tech enthusiasts and gamers. Now, this is substantial, okay? Absolutely substantial that they're coming out with a $299 price point on this new product. This could sell incredibly well in the marketplace. You want to talk about a product that is priced for birthday parties, a product that is priced for Christmas for kids? This is that sort of price point, okay? Steve Jobs understood on the highest level possible a lot of things. And Steve Jobs, obviously a business genius. He understood a lot of things. And one of the things Steve Jobs understood on the highest level possible is you need to make products that are affordable to young people when it comes to new tech. When it comes to new tech in new industries that people aren't really used to buying these things, It has to be affordable to young people. I'm talking kids. I'm talking teens. I'm talking people in their 20s, right? It's got to be affordable to the parents that might be buying this product for their kids for their birthday or for Christmas or something like that, right? Which means it needs to be in the hundreds of dollars, not in the thousands of dollars. And so, because if you go back to every single tech adoption we've ever seen, they're always led by the young people. It's not people that are in their 50s and 60s that are leading the tech adoption. It's never been that way. It never will be that way, right? Anything, I don't care if it's TikTok, Facebook, MySpace back in the day, Instagram, the iPod, the iPhone, all those things, they're always led by who? Snapchat, the young people. The young people make the trends. They've always made the trends in regards to tech, and they're going to continue to do that, right? And so that was something Steve Jobs understood on the highest level possible. If we talk about the biggest flop in modern Apple history, which when I say modern Apple history, I'm really talking the past 25 years. And honestly, this is probably the only flop Apple's truly had in the past 25 years. It's this product right here, the Vision Pro. I told you guys this is going to flop huge. I was 100% right on that, right? And the reason being, there's a lot of reasons this product flopped. This was the first product Apple really came out with that didn't have Johnny Ive's influence in it or Steve Jobs' influence. And boy, did it show. Boy, did it show, right? Because if you think about Apple's entire lineup, the AirPods, Apple Watch, iPhone, iPad, MacBooks, everything, it all had either Johnny Ive or Steve Jobs hands-on in regards to making those products. This was the first product that did not have either of these guys, and it's a complete biggest flop Apple's had in 25 years. It's an embarrassment, right? And why? A lot of reasons, including that ridiculous battery pack. I'm like, well, I'm shocked. Like, when I saw a product, I was in shock. I'm like, I can't believe Apple's like gotten this bad. This is insane, right? Got a 5 out of 10 from Wired. Ugh. So $3,500 price point was the main thing. You know, after taxes, you're looking at $3,700, $3,800. Who has that sort of money to buy that for the kids? And you think a 55-year-old who actually has the money is going to be the one to adopt that technology? They're never the ones that adopt technology. They're the ones that will wait till the last moment to adopt technology. You think the baby boomers are going to be the ones to go out and buy those Vision Pros and pay $3,800, $3,700 for them because they got the money for it? And they got a few $1 million in their retirement account? Heck no. It's not the way tech works. It's never been the way the tech works. It's never will be the way the tech works, right? And so this is brilliant by Zuckerberg, right? When Apple showed off their first iPod, guess what the price point was? $399. And then over the years, Apple actually came out with iPods that were even under $399, right? And by the way, I love this quote by Steve Jobs here. He says, Apple CEO, with iPod, listening to music will never be the same again. And he was actually 100% right. That changed music forever. Obviously, that led to buying music as far as individual songs. Digital music being the main consumption, like iPod really changed the game forever. And then obviously from that came streaming services like Pandora and Apple Music and Spotify and all those sorts of things. Absolutely a game changer. Apple launches the iTunes store. Guess what? You know, did Apple have to count? Who was using the iPods? I was in school at that time, right? This is when I was at the end of elementary school going into middle school. When I got on the bus in middle school, guess what? All the kids had iPods. All the kids had iPods. The 13, the 14-year-olds all had iPods. In high school, what did everybody have? iPods. iPods. That was the thing, right? iTunes Store. Who was the first adopters of that? Was it my mom and dad who were, in their 40s at this point in time? No, my mom and dad were still buying CDs at this time. They weren't buying songs off iTunes, but you know who was buying songs off iTunes for 99 cents? The kids were. The teenagers were. The people in their 20s were, right? And so 99 cents a song, brilliant. You're going to get mass adoption there. The iPhone, when that came out, $499 price point. You know why? Because the older folks, they weren't going to be the ones that adopted the iPhone. They were all addicted to their Blackberries, right? Blackberry this, Blackberry that. They laughed at the iPhone. Oh, I'll never use that. Guess what? Every single one of those people that were all the Blackberry users back in 07, 08, 09, 2010, they're all on iPhone nowadays. All of them. All of them. All those people in New York City, you could picture investment bankers and the analysts and all these people that were addicted to their Blackberries back in 07, 08, 09, 2010. Guess what they all have in their pocket now? An iPhone, right? And Steve Jobs understood that. He didn't come out with an iPhone priced at $1,500 or $2,000. Why? Because the young people wouldn't be able to afford it. People in their 20s wouldn't have been able to afford it. And an iPhone never would have been able to take off the way it took off, right? This is so important. And by iPhone having such strong sales numbers in that first year or two, it led the development community, the developer community to really adopt and create great apps and services on the iPhone over time, right? Which helped that store build out and then Android store build out and all that, right? So you just got to understand, like, Meta gets it. Zuckerberg gets it. And this is why Meta's products, the physical products, are going to be a huge success over time. Not just because they're going to be good products, not just because they're cool and they're like new tech. It's because he understands we got to have low price points to get the youngins to use this stuff. And then over time, the more it's a success, the more we'll get the 30-year-olds to use his tech, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, right? And the newer generations. And then they can worry about going up on price at that point in time. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. Meta's latest AI upgrades, unveiled at its annual Connect conference today, could change online shopping through voice-activated assistance and image recognition technology on social media platforms. The tech giant reported that over 400 million people use Meta AI monthly, with 185 million people engaging weekly across its products. Meta claims its AI assistant will become the most used globally by the end of the year. They're probably right about that if they're predicting that, right? Quote, AI-generated images and captions can supercharge social media marketing. Brands can make content that feels custom-made for each user at a large scale, says industry expert at Payments. He added, AI can analyze what users like and help businesses make targeted campaigns. This leads to more engagement and better returns on investment. Oh, baby. Even a better ROI? Meta and Instagram always provide the best ROI out there as it is. Now they're taking it to another level. Oh my gosh. Meta announced Llama 3.2. And by the way, Meta always wants their advertisers to make as much as possible. Why? Well, the more money those companies and businesses make, the more money they're going to funnel right back to Meta, right? If you're getting, let's say, a 3x ROI on your ad spend, you're going to keep funneling as much money as you possibly can to Meta because you're getting such a great ROI on that. This is why it's so important that when people run ads on Facebook or Instagram or do something through even WhatsApp, it's very, very important that it's successful. Because if it's successful, the more successful it is, the more those companies are going to flood money right back to Meta, and the more money Meta makes. It's an absolutely kind of brilliant little flywheel going on there. Meta announced Llama 3.2, a big advancement in its open source AI model series, alongside its consumer-facing updates. This new release includes small and medium-sized vision language model and lightweight text-only models designed for edge and mobile devices. The vision model can analyze images, understand charts and graphs, and perform visual grounding tasks. The lightweight models, optimized for on-device use, support multilingual text generation and tool calling abilities, enabling developers to build personalized applications, supposedly prioritizing user privacy. We'll see about that. I'm not going to talk about that, okay? They talk more about features that are going to drive engagement on these different platforms, right? I thought this was fascinating here. The company said ad campaigns using AI features got 11% more clicks and 7.6% more conversion than regular campaigns. Over 1 million advertisers are using these tools, making 15 million ads in the past month. At the end of the day, this goes to show you it works. What Meta is doing here, it works. If it didn't work, it'd be less clicks, right? And less conversions. More clicks, more conversions mean what for Meta? More money. That means they're even more valuable to businesses out there. Absolutely phenomenal to see all that. If you want to talk about one company that's actually for real making money from AI, look no further than Meta. I can tell you guys, there aren't many companies that are actually making real money from AI. There's not. Like nvidia obviously comes to mind, and Meta comes to mind. Like there are very few companies that are actually making money from this. There's a lot of companies that hope to make money from AI, but there's two that are actually doing it for real, for real. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg showed off some impressive upgrades to the Meta's company's hit Ray-Ban glasses. The Ray-Ban glasses, I have a pair of those. Not sure if you guys have a pair of those. They've been very successful, including the ability to translate live conversations, offer continuous talking features, and recognize the world around you. The updates will make Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which start at $299, a far more intelligent piece of technology. This was from Meta here. we're adding new AI features to Ray-Ban Meta glasses to help you remember things like where you parked, which by the way is an issue sometimes when I'm here on the strip, man. Here in Vegas, my city, if I have to go down the strip for any reason, sometimes I forget what dang level I parked on in the parking garage, right? And I can know where my Tesla is because I can see it in the app, but the issue is it doesn't tell me what level I'm actually on, right? Translate speech in real time, answer questions about things you're seeing, and more. We're advancing our partnerships with Spotify and Amazon Music and adding new ones to Audible and iHeart to give you more ways to listen. Because obviously one of the big features in regards to this product is being able to talk to people right through it versus like talking on AirPods, and also being able to listen to music right through those as well. Since we first launched our Ray-Ban Meta glasses, they've been so popular that we've had trouble keeping them on the shelves until recently. That's true. Like, it's been difficult to get them. Like, I had to go down to the Ray-Ban store, which was at Caesar's Palace, and go through those folks and everything. It was like a whole situation. So yeah, definitely it hasn't been easy to get your hands on it. People have shared millions of moments with friends and family since we first introduced them. Whether you're exploring a new city, sitting on the sidelines of a sporting event, or simply trying to be more present in your daily life, Ray-Ban Meta glasses are the perfect companion to help you experience the world, share your perspective, and capture moments. Completely hands-free, and now we're adding AI features, expanding partnerships, and more. And you know, one of the coolest use cases I've heard, and as a parent I could understand this, right, is, you know, let's say you're at your kid's soccer game, okay, or your kid's basketball game or something like that, and you want to record a moment or something like that, right? You can just hit the button on the Meta glasses, and what you see, the Meta glasses see, and you can record it that way. Versus like, oh, I got to get out my smartphone now. Okay, let me open it up. Oh, there's a bunch of notifications that are distracting me, and there's this and that. Okay, let me pull up my camera. Oh, it's on the video. It's on the photo mode. I want to take a video. Now I got to go over here. Now I got to do this whole thing, right? And the Meta glasses just boop, and you could be much more in the moment. One of the weirdest things for me always is, you know, people go to concerts, and I'm sure if you guys have been to a concert or you've seen any concerts, what is like 90% of the crowd doing? They all got their phones out. And it's just like, to me, like when I go to a concert, I'm not wanting to do that. Like, I'm there to listen to music and have a good time. But other people, they go there and they got to hold their phone up like they're a professional recorder the whole time, right? Like, it'd be pretty nice if you could just boop, click your Meta glasses, and you want to record the whole dang concert so you can remember it or whatever, and actually enjoy the moment more. There you go. And I think that's the future, in my personal opinion. Rather than everybody has to always like use their phone everywhere, it's more cumbersome, it's less convenient. If everybody just has glasses that record HD, boom, you can just record it, whatever you're looking at, you see, and you record it, and it's just hands-free, and you don't have to worry about it, and, you know, yeah, that's my 2 cents in regards to that. So that's kind of one of the big things and features why I see these being very successful over time. Additionally, they showed this off, Orion. Introducing Orion, our first true augmented reality glasses. Today we unveiled Orion, previously codenamed Project Nazar, which we believe is the most advanced pair of augmented reality glasses ever made. Orion combines the look and feel of a regular pair of glasses with the immersive capabilities of augmented reality. And it's the result of breakthrough inventions in virtually every field of modern computing. We're giving Meta employees and select external audiences access to Orion so our team can learn, integrate, and build toward a consumer AR product, which I would say earliest, maybe 12 months, we see an actual product that you and I could buy. Maybe furthest out, maybe 24 months in regards to this. If they're already at a stage where they're going to let certain individuals get this, I think it's pretty big time, right? And you might say, you know, how is Meta like winning in all these categories and like pushing tech faster? It really comes down to Zuckerberg, right? He has the budget to do it, and he has the leeway to do it. The reason he has the leeway to do it is the investors, they give him a pass. I'll just be honest with you guys. Big investors give Meta a pass in regards to spending on all this because he's a visionary leader. And so when you've had as much success as Zuckerberg has, he can get away with that. A lot of other CEOs, they can't get away with that because they're not these founder-led legends. Like, we have a living legend leading Meta right now. And not only is he a living legend, he's actually entering the prime of his career. Like, this next, in my opinion, 10 to 15 years is really the prime of Zuckerberg's career. It hasn't been in the past. He was so young, you know, obviously when he first started the company and when the company went first IPO, that wasn't even prime Zuckerberg. That was, back in those days, he really needed Sheryl Sandberg to hold his hand a lot, right? As he was learning business and learning all this stuff and running a big company. we're entering the next 10 to 15 years as prime Zuckerberg. And so he has the budgets to do it. He has employee force to do it. And he has the vision to make this stuff a reality that I would say 99.99999% of other CEOs just don't have it like that, right? So that's special, and that's what's going on here. And so the kings of tech right now are these two guys right here. It's clear as day. Jensen and what NVIDIA has been doing and what Meta's up to on the AI side, what they're on up to in regards to ads and targeting and like just taking things up to a much higher level than it's ever been, and what they're up to in regards to all these different hardware products, they're the kings of tech. These two guys are running the show now at this point in time. And the proof is, look at a 2-year chart of these stocks. This shows you a 2-year chart here, right? And remember, tech stocks are always going to, in terms of their stock prices, they're going to move on two things. They're going to move on the results of the companies, but also they're going to move on like the vision, the belief in the company and what they're doing in the future. That's how tech companies roll, right? It's not like oil and gas stocks where it's only about the results. Tech stocks is about the results in what we see is going on and what we actually believe the future. If people believe the future is going to be very bright for a tech company, they'll buy the stock even if it has a IP or something like that, right? And in the past 2 years, NVIDIA stock's up 900+%, Meta stock's up 300+%. Those ones are so far so far above everything else. The next closest from the Mag 7 after that is Microsoft at an 81% gain, and a lot of that's through their ChatGPT partnership there, right? I can tell you if they didn't have that relationship, that stock likely wouldn't be up 81% in the past 2 years. It might be up 60 or 70%. Then comes Amazon up 67%. Then comes Google up 66%. Then comes Apple up 58%. And then Tesla down 4% because Elon Musk would rather just tweet and retweet all day. And, obviously he's bought X in the last 2 years and he's taken his eye off the ball. And so now Tesla's amazing employee force, unfortunately, has a leader who's, kind of in and out in regards to that. His focus is more on politics than it is running a company. And so that's unfortunate. And I hope he gets it together. But the proof is in the pudding. Like the proof is in the numbers. The belief in Tesla has been lost a lot. That's why the stock's down 4%. And the numbers have been crap. You can't have both of those come together. Meta, NVIDIA, you got the results there, booming results, and you got the vision in the future for those companies and the belief in the future because those guys are actually focused on advancing their companies forward and not focused on tweeting all day and retweeting, right? So Meta, as far as my plans with Meta, I might take a small profit around $700 in the fourth quarter of this year, assuming it moves to 700, which I wouldn't be surprised if it does. If it does, I might take a small profit, some chips off the table. I mean, a very small amount, though, overall. And the reason I think the stock could go to 700 here, rather quick is if you look at next year's numbers expected here from analysts, they're at around 14.5% earnings per share growth and less than 14% revenue growth. If Meta comes through with great numbers again this upcoming quarter and a great guidance, I think a lot of people are going to have to start upping their numbers for 2025 because there's a decent probability Meta could grow revenue more in the 16% to 19% range. 16% on the low end and 19% on the high end. And analysts right now are in the 13s on average, which would be a big kind of uptick there. And there's a decent probability earnings per share wise could be up, let's call it 20% plus next year. And analysts, once again, are about 14.5%. So if all of a sudden you're expecting 20% plus earnings per share growth, you got to up all your numbers. So that's why don't be surprised if you see Meta go 700 sooner rather than later in regards to that one. Revolve is a sneaky mover. This stock's up about 99% for us now. What's going on here? Is there a big opportunity? It's a $20-something stock, e-commerce company, right? Clothing space. So something very exciting is going on with Revolve. Very exciting. Look at the margins. The gross margins are now starting to uptick, okay? So the margin story is getting fixed. It was a margin story that was very depressing for a while where the margins just went down and down and down. Now we're reversing that. We're starting to go up and up and up in regards to gross margins. Net margins, the bottom line margins, same exact thing. We bottomed those out a few quarters ago. Now we're going up in regards to that. Additionally, check out the earnings per share here on 1000xstocks.com. We were up massively on a year-over-year basis, 100% plus, but on a quarter-over-quarter basis, up substantially as well, so on a sequential basis. So it's clear as day the profitability and the margins are just trending up and up and up for Revolve. If we can talk about a consumer that gets in a better place over this next year, don't be surprised if that earnings per share and those margins continue to fly higher for the next year, right? Additionally, it looks like we bottomed out revenue as well, and revenue is expected to go up from here, right? This is where we finished out the last quarter on a trailing 12-month basis, and this is what's projected for the company on a trailing 12-month basis over the coming quarters. So being that the revenue is likely going to get in a better and better in place and start, say coming back to life, along with gross margins and net margins all trending up and earnings per share turning up now, this is why the stock's starting to come back to life. Now, remember, in regards to Revolve stock, this stock used to be a $70, $80 stock. And then, obviously, 2022 rate increases happened, and, the stock got devastated down to under $20. And so this is kind of, in my opinion, stage one of the comeback for Revolve. And I think we're about to go into stage two in regards to the comeback in regards to Revolve. The company has a good management team there. The two co-CEOs, they do a heck of a job running this company. They built this company from nothing into what it is today. And that's why this stock's a sneaky gainer. And keep in mind, small market cap, around just under a $2 billion market cap. Great balance sheet on this company. Listen, if we see more and more money go into the Russell type stocks, small caps, because of the Fed rate cuts and people want to go a little more risk on, especially if the market continues to go up, don't be surprised if Revolve's one of the biggest beneficiaries of the money coming into the kind of the small guys over the next, we can say 12 to 24 months or something like that, right? Now, next thing I want to talk about, in offsides. A lot of investors are offsides in this market, right? They've been convinced market's going lower September, market's going lower October, November, December, we're up, right? And we're up from there. So we're in a very weird situation here where it seems like there's so many people rooting for stocks to go down right now, right? You have the short sellers rooting for stocks to go down. You've got all the people that sold stocks over the past few months, banking that September was going to be a bad month, which it hasn't been. It's actually been very good. Now people are banking that October is going to be bad, right? Everybody's like waiting, hoping this market goes down. You got longs like myself that would love stocks lower. Like, please send stocks lower. I would like to buy more Nike shares at as cheap as price as possible. And Wynn Resorts and Cheesecake Factory and all these stocks I've been buying here recently, give me them for as cheap as possible. Everybody's rooting for the stock market to go down. But the problem is there's so many people off signs right now that the more the market goes up, the more people are going to have to eventually throw in the towel and say, damn it, I got to get in this market. I'm going to keep waiting for it to go down. And then if you don't get a clear catalyst on why the market should go down, right? Like a major uptick in unemployment or something like that, or inflation going crazier again or something like that. If you don't get any of that, then people are going to say, what do we have to go on here? What do we have to go on here, right? So, for instance, I watched a creator's video yesterday, right? I'm not going to mention this creator's name, but this creator goes in the video, he says, I'm not bullish. I haven't been bullish for the past few months, right? And he says, I'm going to go bullish after the election. And I'm listening to this creator say that, and I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Like you can't be premeditating trading decisions. It's not the way this works. If you're trying to do the whole timing of the market thing, or I'm going to get out of stocks and I'm going to get back into stocks, I'm going to time it perfect. You can't premeditate those decisions, especially when you want to hide behind the fact that you're like basing your decisions based upon data in government numbers and all these sorts of things. And then you go ahead and you say, I'm premeditating that I'm going to go bullish after the election. What are we talking about here? Doesn't make sense, man. And so a lot of people just baffled by some of their decision making out there. Don't play the whole time in the market thing. Stay invested. Buy great companies. If they go lower, great. Buy more shares. And if they go higher and it's truly a great company that has a big opportunity, you can buy more shares, right? Add to your ownership over time. Always remember, even the people that were buying in the peak of the market in 1987 are geniuses today. The people that were buying in the peak of the tech bubble are geniuses today. The people that were buying right before the great financial crisis and the stock market crashed 50%, they're geniuses today. The people that were buying in the Great Depression, before the Great Depression, at the peak of the market bubble there, they're geniuses today, right? Just always keep that in mind. Appreciate y'all joining me as always. Once again, free workshop for you. Pin comment down there. Stocks to buy now for 2025, how to position your portfolio. Make sure you get access to that. It's absolutely free. Pinned comment. Much love and have a great day.